Piacenti, and welcome back to PlaySqorrTV. I am joined once again by six-time Pro Bowler Terrell Owens. Terrell, Happy New Year.
Yeah, how are you guys? Merry New Year to everybody watching.
Hey guys, everyone out there, hello. So, last week, the San Francisco 49ers became the NFC West champions, which means the Seattle Seahawks are traveling to Philadelphia to face the NFC East champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have given up the 5th most receiving yards in the regular season, and the Seattle Seahawks have given up more receptions. So, is there a wide receiver you see standing out in this game, or maybe even a couple wide receivers?
I think with the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, they don't necessarily have an established number one receiver right now. I know Tyler Lockett is one of their main guys, but he's been injured a bit. DK Metcalf, he's starting to find his way. He's made some big plays as I guess within the last couple of games. You can just tell he's starting to kind of feel himself, really feel where he belongs, and he's starting to make some plays here and there. But when you think about traveling, that's something that it's not ideal. But again, if you want to win championships, in which the Seattle Seahawks they have done, but obviously Russell Wilson will have to do that with a new group and nucleus of guys, especially in the backfield. He have a familiar face back there with Marshawn Lynch. But I think obviously depending on the weather, depending on obviously the environment. Obviously, I think for the Seattle Seahawks, in order for them to win, I think they're going to have to establish the run game. I don't know if Marshawn has enough. I don't know if his endurance is where it needs to be to really establish that. But they have a committee of guys back there. Homer is playing well. But to answer your question about the receivers, you look on the flip side, look on the other side with the Philadelphia Eagles. Zach Ertz, he's been hurt in and out of that lineup. He didn't play in the last game. Don't know his availability for this upcoming game, but I think he should be ready, having a week's rest. But again, they don't have a number one receiver either. So it's going to be a toss-up when it comes to really trying to pick a matchup when it comes to receiver. It depends on really in a game like this. It's going to be something unique that happens during the course of the game. Obviously, you need to take care of the ball, but I think maybe some special teams play may factor into who may win or lose. But Eagles playing at home, I think they definitely have an advantage.
All right, let's jump over to the AFC. So in a shock to many, the New England Patriots lost to the Miami Dolphins last weekend, and so now they're playing again on Saturday in a wild card round. They've actually never had to win 4 games in a row in the postseason to get to the Super Bowl. This week they face the Tennessee Titans. How do you see this game playing out?
I think this may be a daunting task for them. I don't think they've won 4 in a row during the course of the season. So especially going into the playoffs, there's no next week, so they have to win consecutive games. They haven't been playing well as of late. I think Tom Brady realizes that the style of play that they've been getting used to and getting away with over the last decade by having pedestrian type receivers filling in, and they've been able to win games and win Super Bowls. I think that has come back to haunt them and bite them because they don't have those pedestrian receivers that are actually stepping up and making plays like they have been. You think about some of the receivers that have left that roster in the last couple of years or so. You think about Brandon LaFell. You think about Chris Hogan. These are guys that are elsewhere. He doesn't have a number one receiver right now. 2 weeks ago, they played the Buffalo Bills. Had the Buffalo Bills had a pretty much a more experienced quarterback, then they probably would have beat the New England Patriots. But New England end up squeaking that game out by a touchdown. And so you saw the game last weekend against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are not a bad team, but you saw the headsy play by a veteran, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Honestly, I played with Ryan Fitzpatrick when I was with the Buffalo Bills. He's arguably, no doubt, like one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks that I've ever played with. And I played with a number of quarterbacks, a Hall of Famer in Steve Young, a few years with him. But not to discredit, what I did didn't do with Steve. But you think about the quarterbacks that I played a longer tenure with outside of him. You think of the Tony Romos. You think about Donovan McNabbs, the Jeff Garcias. Ryan Fitzpatrick was one of those guys that I loved to play with, and I had a lot of success with. So you think about the veteran play of a guy like Ryan. Patriots going into a situation against the Titans. They have a very good guy back there at the quarterback position in Tannehill. They're playing hot right now, and they have some momentum. So when you're going into a game, especially in the playoffs, like I said, I can't really say that the Patriots are going to be, obviously with Tom Brady, they're going to be the front runner, but it's a wild card game. And, anything in a wild card game, anything can happen. But I'm expecting the Tennessee Titans to upset the New England Patriots, although you can't count Tom Brady out. So if you look at how the Tennessee Titans have played as of late, when you go into the playoffs, you want to ride that wave, you want to ride that momentum. And I think the momentum shift is riding with the Tennessee Titans. So I'm expecting an upset.
I want to go back to what you were saying about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I found that really interesting. It sort of makes me wonder, is that why Devante Parker is suddenly seeming like he's having a breakout in his 5th year in the league? Because he has a really good quarterback. And speaking as obviously one of the best wide receivers ever to play, for you to give him that compliment, that explains a little bit to me about maybe Devante Parker's success all of the sudden.
Absolutely. I mean, being a receiver, knowing that a receiver can't do what I like. I'll speak for myself. I couldn't have been able to do the things that I did without a capable or more than capable enough quarterback back there getting me the ball, and then obviously the coordinator putting you in the best position to win. And I think that staff realizes that Devante Parker he will be one of the top receivers going into next year, based on his production as he finished up this season and going into next season. Obviously, the sky's the limit for this guy. They just got to get a few pieces defensively to kind of put them, in a situation to kind of, be a contender in the AFC. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's done it everywhere he's been. He just has to be somewhere where he can consistently play lights out and do what he does. Like I said, he's one of the better quarterbacks that I've ever played with. And to your point, Devante Parker, I'm sure he can appreciate a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's all about chemistry, all about the coaches putting you in the right position to succeed, and even the team to win, to beat a team like the New England Patriots on the last game of the season. I'm sure that bodes well for those guys going into the offseason, and they have a lot of things to look forward to next year.
That's fantastic insight. We have a PlaySqorr matchup between veteran Tom Brady and one of my favorite young players, Deshaun Watson. Which way would you lean in this head-to-head matchup?
Head-to-head, you got to go with. Everybody's going to go with the guy that has won a number of championships. But I like the headsy play of a guy that would have broken a rookie record had he not gotten hurt and gotten injured. So now I think he's now back healthy. I think it's really not a head-to-head matchup, kind of, sort of. But I think in a sense, if you're looking for like an overall team win, then I would probably go with the Patriots because of the headsy play, because of Tom Brady, who has done it. But I wouldn't count. He's like Tom Brady. You can't count a guy out like Deshaun Watson because he's a proven winner. I saw this guy play in college. He's done it. He's basically transitioned his game and even gotten better at the professional level. And he's a guy that can make things happen not only in the pocket but outside the pocket as well. I think overall, team-wise, they have to play collectively, error-free football, no turnovers in order to win a game.
Absolutely. One last question. When you're looking at a PlaySqorr matchup, a head-to-head or an over-under, how much do you factor in what the weather will be for that game? Like, do you value a running back more if it's raining? Do you worry about winds for wide receivers? How do you factor that in?
Well, that's not something that, when you're going one-on-one with somebody, just trash talking. You have to factor that in real life as a team, as an organization, because it changes your whole entire game plan. Obviously, when the weather is bad, whether it's snowing, raining, things of that nature, then you're not going to be able to throw the ball entirely a lot, especially if you're a pass-happy team. So again, that bodes well for guys that are traditionally run-oriented. You think about the Seattle Seahawks. They have a staple of guys back there that can, run the ball. But again, in head-to-head matchups, you have to factor in the weather, the conditions, especially like I said, if your bread and butter is in the passing game, and the weather's not really conducive, and for that type of attack, then you have to run the ball. So it depends on, like I said, who can create some big holes, who can protect the ball. And in situations like that, the ball gets wet, it gets slippery. Turnovers, or they can come in plenty when the weather's bad.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your insight. It's always so refreshing to talk to you and get your feedback about how it should be going, what's going on in league. I absolutely enjoy this time we get to spend every week. You guys, go to the App Store and download the PlaySqorr app and play with us. It's lots of fun, it's simple, it's easy, and there are big payouts. Thank you again, Terrell Owens, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.